And a chemistry messed up will send off a signal, but we are not mostly not listening because we got worries and we need to do the deadline and this and that. So we are not, and then this chemistry stays over there and will deregulate the system. And then we become sick and we don't know what's happening. We go to the doctor and or the psychiatrist because we could become depressed and all. But we are very able to get into any place in the body, and in this case, the brain, where and we do all these studies now with the university. They say cognitive therapy, just talking to each other in the psychology and psychotherapy, that's not enough. That was a conference with 200 experts, and they did this breathing. And then they said, wow, talking only is not enough. But if you do this breathing, then you really get into the brain. And then suddenly you get a sense of control.
Because you're creating this extra circulation of blood.
Yes. Together with oxygen, making it alkaline. Then suddenly the blockage is created because of wrong chemistry, because of trauma or anxiety or grief. Then suddenly that chemistry is being dealt with and you get balance. Simple. And we keep it simple and try to get this web of our thoughts, thinking of so many difficulties and complications. What is emotion? What is fear? What is PTSD? What is trauma? What is depression? We don't know where it is in the brain. Just get all the brain full of oxygen, get the alkalinity up, and you are able to steer by going through the spine, up in your head, and do it all.
Is that why, do you believe, is that why some studies have shown that rigorous exercise, particularly cardio, like running, elliptical machines, things along like those lines, are just as good for depression as medication?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's dealing with the oxygen tension.
And forcing, when you think those giant deep breaths you take when you're jogging or something.
Yes, and when you do those things, you actually create the body to be effective with the oxygen. Then suddenly different mechanisms are at work, more oxygen is coming in, and the chemistry is balancing out. Depression is caused by wrong chemistry creating inflammation.
I'm a regular exerciser, but sometimes I just get real busy and I take a couple of days off. And sometimes I take a couple of days off and I just don't feel right. Maybe, I'm not a self-indulgent person, but sometimes I'll just feel like, God, I just feel kind of shitty today or whatever. And then I force myself to exercise. I go, look, I'm going to get up an hour early, or I'm going to do whatever I have to do. And I'm going to, before I go to bed, whatever it is, I'm going to make sure that the day will not end until I exercise. And when I do, all it goes away. All the feelings go away. It's like I have a new brain. Yeah. It's like I leave there, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. It seems like everything's just beautiful again.
And that's you.
And and I'm the same person.
Very good.
Like, it's also like my life is the same. Like, not that my life is bad in any way. My life is fantastic. It's all great stuff. But just being a person. Sometimes being a person is overwhelming. You're tired. You have a lot of obligations. There's a lot on your plate. There's a lot of things going on. And sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes you just feel down, and I have a good life. It's a fun life. If I didn't have a fun life and that happened, it would just be compounding all the other issues that I have. Now, tack on that if I was overweight. Tack on that if I was hooked on pills. Or I was an alcoholic, or cigarette smoking, or one of the other things that are really terrible for you that so many people suffer from. If all those things, you don't think, I think there's so many people that think of depression or bad states of mind as being just something that a hand that you're dealt. And I don't necessarily think it's the case with everybody, because I don't know how everybody's mind works, but I know certainly from my mind, I can absolutely regulate those ups and downs based on rigorous exercise. And it doesn't have to be lifting weights or CrossFit or jiu-jitsu or anything crazy. Just go walk up a hill. Just go hike. Just go hike. You go hike, you take those big deep breaths, you get to the top of that hill, and you fucking feel great.
Yeah, very good. So I can do that too.
I know you could do it. You do it in your underwear.
Yeah.
On a
Things
mountain,
like that.
covered with snow.
Yes, go to the extreme and show that it is all possible,
Yes.
even in the most extreme conditions.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the knocking at the door of science, and I feel I'm able to help.
Well, science is
those
very
who
much
are-
interested in what you're doing.
Yes, they do. The scientific community embrace this, but now I feel, hey man, I'm able actually to help human mankind.
Well, it's so extraordinary that one person has this kind of influence. I mean, I hope you realize what a service you're providing to people, because
You
would
too,
think-
bringing awareness.
Well, thank you. But all I'm doing is just talking to someone who's awesome.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
easy. But this thing that you've done, you would think that other people would have figured it out. And that's what I find most fascinating about you. I would have thought that last time you were here. I mean, it's hard to believe there are so few people that have done what you've done or figured out what you've figured out. And then, even more unusual, what you've done is you've gone to scientists and you said, hey, I think I'm onto something. Please study me. Like, please study what I'm doing, and you got people to listen to you. By accomplishing all these incredible feats, they go, well, this guy obviously is doing something. I mean, who the fuck can swim 100 yards under frozen ice in one breath? Who the fuck is running marathons and barefoot above the polar circle? All this shit that you're doing, it's wonderful. You're forcing people to acknowledge the fact that something extraordinary is going on.
So it is. And, we got big problems and issues with people with PTSD, depression, trauma, fear, anxiety in general. It's all stress hormone. And now using developing a method and finding it out, because I was in this quest to go deeper within myself, finding the cold as the right teacher to bring me into the depth of my physiology, finally finding the way nature meant me to be, to feel strong and in control of myself. I brought this now to science, and now it is a matter of time that we will resolve what we have lost, the connection with the depth of ourselves. And that means for people, maybe not for you, because you are able to handle your mood and your physical strength and your health. That's good. But for those who have PTSD, trauma, anxiety, fear, depression, autoimmune diseases, cancer, all these things, I think nature knows. And I found these keys in nature. I just bring it to the science, and we forgot about the nature. This is where I'm made a couple of notes, and I think if we are able not only to show that the autonomic nervous system, the hormonal system, the immune system can be influenced deeply, that means hormonal system, that is the melatonin, serotonin, dopamine, any feel-good hormone within us, and the ability to tap into that system and create those hormones when necessary. When you feel bad, you just get a shot naturally by breathing and believing of the right hormones, and you feel great.